Hi, this is Dr. Bhavya, BDS FDS in Pediatric and Preventive Dentistry. Today I am here to talk on the topic pregnancy and oral health. What is the relationship between pregnancy and oral health is the most common question all my patients ask. What is it? So let me take you through all the various changes that happens during pregnancy. Why does it happen? It mainly happens due to the physiological and hormonal changes in pregnancy. So the physiological changes are due to the inflammation that can happen in our body. It happens in almost all parts of the body. So mainly in oral health, I want to take you to the main part is during pregnancy, especially during the second trimester. The first trimester, the body adjusts to the inflammatory markers, and in the second trimester, it peaks. So during that, you'll have a lot of changes. First thing, I would suggest that there's a lot of oral redness, of inflammation and heaviness in the oral cavity. Patients always feel a discomfort while they have anything spicy, cold or something. They feel like it's burning or it is having a heaviness. That is called pregnancy gingivitis. It is more like a reddish gingiva. You feel like your gums are bleeding when you're brushing your teeth. This is a very common symptom. And there's another thing that happens is called pyogenic granuloma, also known as pregnancy tumor. A small tumor or lump is formed in any part of the oral cavity. It is mainly triggered due to the old debris and plaque that was already accumulated in the mouth, and also due to your inflammatory markers and hormonal changes. The thing with this is it is a very it is very common to the pregnant women because it happens due to their hormonal changes. You don't have to actually do anything great. You can just follow your oral hygiene or go to a dentist, have a scaling and polishing. It will be reduced. What happens is if you do try to remove it through any other mode, it will actually recur during the whole pregnant period. But once you're done with your pregnancy and during delivery, after delivery, it will regress. So you don't have to actually do anything. But if it is causing a lot of discomfort, please go to your nearby dentist. They will assist you on how to manage it. Secondly, I want to also talk about the morning sickness, which is a very common thing with all our patients and all the people who are pregnant. Is that in the morning they feel like they are having a lot of nausea and they feel like vomiting. Some people have a condition called hyperemesis gravidum, which is like they continuously vomit throughout the pregnancy. What is the effect of this morning sickness and vomiting during pregnancy in our oral health? It causes a dental erosion. What is dental erosion? Enamel is lost. Why is it lost? Because there's a lot of gastric acid reflux that comes through the vomit and your whole erosion happens in your dental cavity. So what happens is the color changes, there's little sensitivity, patients feel very difficult to even they have a bad breath or have a tough time maintaining their oral health. So what we would do is, we will take them through all their symptoms and we will suggest an advice for home care at the same time in dental setup. So there's an also thing that they have an altered taste. They feel that their mouth is always dry, acidic, and they feel like they are not able to perceive any taste. They hate certain tastes. They're more craving towards sugar, sugary juices and beverages. They call it craving, but I would suggest that it is because their mouth is always feeling dry that they want to have something like a chewing gum or ice popsicle or ice creams. These and all are good for a pregnant woman until it causes a dental decay. So we would always suggest go for a pre-counseling. Before you even try to plan your pregnancy, go for a dental checkup and know what is your issues. Like if you have any dental caries that is small and can be restored even in a small pit, it will get exaggerated when it becomes into a pregnancy and then they have a caries. So now I would suggest the advices and management at home. For pregnant women, we suggest that in case they are having any morning sickness or nausea or episode, it is better to rinse your mouth with water immediately so that you buffer the high acidic pH in your mouth. What else can you do, doctor? If you ask me, I would suggest take a spoon of baking soda, add it in a cup of water, mix it and make a bicarbonate mouthwash and swish it in your mouth. And then you can spit it. For 1 month, you'll find a lot of changes if you do this. There's another thing that you should not brush your teeth. Immediately after a vomit episode, please don't brush your teeth. Wait for 30 to 60 minutes. Because the thing that you do with brushing is immediately when your enamel is eroded or you have an erosion attack, you should not brush your teeth and remove more enamel, which will actually cause more demineralization. So we want our tooth to be remineralized, so you can brush after 30 minutes with a high fluoride paste, that is around 5000 ppm. It is good for your enamel. It will help to, remineralize all the demineralized enamel. So now I would also suggest that have a very good practice of, waking up earlier than usual. Have a bicarbonate mouthwash so that you don't even have that episode in the first place, and have some salt crackers or biscuits, and, rinse your mouth with water before you even start brushing. This is one technique that we suggest for pregnant women. The another thing is, when you have a lot of plaque or calculus or debris, you need to have a professional scaling done. You cannot do it on your own. No matter how much you brush, it won't be enough. So you have to go to a dentist. If before pregnancy, it is even more better. But if you're planning to do it during pregnancy, it is best to do in the second trimester. The first 3 months are the first trimester. From the second trimester, you are safe to do any such elective procedures in dentistry. But if you have an emergency, suddenly there is a swelling in the tooth, you are not able to sleep, you're having excruciating pain at night, or while you have sweet tooth, or sweet foods and some other chocolates, but you're not able to bear it, then please go to your dentist. You are safe to do any emergency procedures if you have swelling, pain, or anything that is, disturbing your sleep. You can do emergency procedures at any part of your pregnancy. There's also another thing that what we would suggest is that you have to plan your pregnancy based on your oral health. Because if your oral health is poor, there's one thing that we have seen through studies in recent days is microorganisms that is in our body, from like Streptococcus mutans, are very common in our oral cavity. These transfer through the blood to the baby. So when this happens, what happens is the baby is also affected. You are actually giving it to your baby. So through the maternal fetoplacental route, it is transferred. So what I would suggest is, get an oral health check done. It's called pre-counseling, so that you will have an idea of where you're standing in your oral health. Then plan for a pregnancy. But in case you missed it, it's still fine. Try to do a precautionary step by doing all the scaling and hygiene measures during your second trimester. Now, what happens if in case you missed out and you're not able to do and you're not aware about it? What happens to the baby is what everyone asks. So there are studies that show that there's something called preeclampsia that happens to the mother during the last few months, around 8 months to 9 months. This happens. What happens is the mother's hypertension is increased, the blood pressure is increased. Why? We already told there's a raised blood volume in pregnancy, and this inflammatory markers from the oral cavity or any part of the body triggers this response. So what happens? They might have a huge high BP than normal, and what can happen is they will go into labor earlier. So there is early chances of going into labor. This is also called as preterm delivery, and the child's weight is also low. So if the delivery happens anytime before 37 weeks, we call it preterm. And this is also a reason is what studies have shown. So it is always better to be on a safer side. So there is always, they all say that you need to, be cautious. This is one reason, not all. This is not a direct causal, but this is one of the reasons. So it's nothing to worry, but please get it checked as soon as possible. Now, they've always asked me, are drugs safe during pregnancy? Yes, there are drugs that are safe during pregnancy. The local anesthetics that we use in dentistry routinely are very safe for pregnant women. You can also take analgesics for a minimal dosage and at minimal time. So you need to have a prescribed dentist doing it for you. You should not take over-the-counter medications. It is very harmful for your baby. It can cause any deformity on your baby. So it's very important you get only prescribed medication from your dentist or doctor. There is also everyone asks me one common thing. Can I get an X-ray done during pregnancy? Yes. The answer is yes. It's a myth. Whoever says that when you take an X-ray, it is harmful for the baby, the radiation is going to harm your baby. Sorry, it is wrong. It is a very big myth. The actual thing is a baby is not affected during a dental X-ray. You will be given protection such as lead apron, thyroid collar that covers all your important structure, and then the X-ray is shoot accepted, but if you are going to a little more higher end clinics, they will have a digital X-ray because it's now very common practice. The conventional X-rays have little more higher load than the digital X-rays. So digital X-rays are completely safe. You can take an X-ray at any part of your pregnancy. Another thing, if a patient is very scared of needles or, having a very tough time, going to a dentist or has a lot of fear, it is very common among all of us that we are very scared of a dentist. It is still fine, but you cannot go through an IV or general sedation program for your treatment. Why? Because it is not safe for you and your baby. It is better you have a routine dental treatment in your dental chair than getting an IV sedation or a nitrous sedation. It's not safe. So these are the things that we consider for a pregnant woman and oral health. There are also certain things that I would also like to emphasize on is emergency dental care is very good and essential. Why? Because the more you delay an emergency, the infection can spread from the tooth or any swelling to your baby, and it can cause uterine restriction. So what happens when uterine gets restricted? There will not be any growth in the baby. So that there are chances and complications that can happen. So don't hesitate to go visit your dentist and get an oral checkup done. This is also not only for the women, it is also for the men. It's not always that the mother gets transferred. You can transfer through saliva to your baby also. So after delivery, you need to have a lot of precaution as parents to get your oral health checked. Why? Because the child as a newborn baby has not many bacteria in their mouth. But what happens is, as parents, we through saliva or sharing spoons and bottles, we actually transmit it to the child. The child becomes a high caries, mouth. We don't want to do that to our child. So it is best as responsible parents, we keep our oral health under check. And another thing that I would also wish to say is that anyone who's pregnant and has a dental treatment to be done, after the second trimester, please try to avoid longer appointments because it is very harmful for the baby when you are lying on the same position for a long time. Take breaks by laying on the left side, and then you can come back to your normal position while doing treatment. This is the major thing that I would like to suggest for the pregnant women, that take awareness, take responsibility, be more cautious. There is another common thing that is very common among pregnant women is that they have some metabolic disease called gestational diabetes. This happens mainly during pregnancy. Why does it happen? Because of your sugary consumption. As I told in the previous time, is that when you have a lot of cravings and your dryness, you're not addressing the morning sickness or taking remedies for morning sickness by using a mouthwash or having hydration by taking more number of episodes of water, or you can mix any small additives or anything. But when you're taking a lot of sugar, the WHO also recommends at least 10% less than your total calories should be from sugar. So if you take more than that, having cakes, chocolates and every donut that you see or ice cream, what happens? What happens to your blood markers? It elevates. Your glucose in your bodies increase. What happens because of it? Your gestational diabetes happens. And what does your doctor say? Cut sugar completely. But what does your oral health say? It is already affected. What happens to the oral health? When your sugar levels are high, the periodontium has a more chances that the bacteria can sit and feed in the glucose. So it becomes even more destroyed. So what happens? You'll have a lot of loosening of periodontium. There will be a lot of mobility and you'll feel a little more difficulty. These and all are very hard to repair when it keeps going, like recession or any periodontal health that happens. It is very hard to repair. And you need to wait till you complete your delivery or breastfeeding. So it is best that you reduce and limit your sugar intake during this to avoid gestational diabetes. When gestational diabetes happens, the wound doesn't heal easily. The oral health is not healed easily. Even if you do a lot of oral health measures or do scaling or any treatment, it doesn't heal very efficiently. Or even if you do extraction, it can cause delayed wound healing and then infection can also happen. This also gets transferred to your child. We don't want all that to happen. So be very responsible. Be careful with your blood glucose levels also. I would also like to say that when you're going for any long drive or long procedures, be very cautious that you take your precautions beforehand. You know that you are prone to having a vomiting episode, you know that you are very prone to have nausea. Take little measures. Have frequent sips of water throughout the day. Have salt crisps instead of sugary biscuits. Have mouthwash that is made simple at home and you don't need to go to any drugstore. If you don't like the taste of baking soda or anything, have a plain mouth rinse. You can even have milk after your episode. You can even have cheese, because these and all are anti-cariogenic products. So it is best that you take these small precautions when you're traveling or wherever you're going. These are readily available. I hope this information helps you all and it creates an awareness among pregnant women. I try to cover as much as possible, but still after telling so much, many people will have still more doubts. What will they do? They'll approach Google or they will go to some other platforms or they'll ask for many suggestions from their older people who have already been through pregnancy. But I am telling you, not everyone is aware of what actually goes through in their life. They're all always through experiences. But as dentists, we've seen a lot of patients throughout our practice who have a lot of questions and they're not able to actually address it because someone else is telling them it's not needed. You don't have to do it. You can wait till your baby is delivered. But what if I tell you your baby is also under stress when your oral health is also under stress? So if you're even planning to even start a family, please go visit to your nearest dentist to know about your oral health. So you will be much safer than any other person who is knowledgeable. The only person who is knowledgeable about your oral health is a dentist. Don't ask anyone else regarding it. They are not experienced, they don't know about it. So when you go to a dentist, they'll tell you in and out of probably more than what I've told you today. I hope all this information that I've gathered in today's video is useful to you. Hope to see you in another episode. Thank you.